Hello, everyone. So this is the talk to summarize and share with you the experience of Campus Art Dubai Blockchain Edition this year. The idea of the program was to onboard artists of different experience, different profiles, but who don't have rich experience in the blockchain, in the NFT world. So you know that NFT is now a very big trend supporting the digital art space. And so today we have Serena Abu Dair, who is Ser, right? Ser. Because this is your artistic name. Then we have Ishraq Bazuri.
Yes, positive.
So these are our artists. And then we have Patricia Espeleta, who was a mentor of the program on the artistic side. Me, myself, my name is Alexander Chevtaev. I'm a tech entrepreneur in the blockchain space, co-founder of fine art NFT platform, Materia. And me and Patricia, we were the one who were designing this program. We also had other mentors participating. So we tried to give, different perspectives, different angle of understanding the NFT space to the artists. And today we will see how was that experience, what was useful, what are the key, points that artists needed to understand in order to enter the NFT space, and what are the differences from the traditional digital art world we used to know. So, Ser, let's start with you. First of all, please give us a very brief introduction of who you are, what's your experience, what is your artistic background?
Sure. I'm known as Ser, and I'm a musician, producer, visual artist. I'm currently working at teaching at the American University in Dubai Digital Media, and as well as an instructor at Berklee College of Music in Abu Dhabi. And I just experiment a lot with music, sound designing, visual design as well, and I get to animate them. That works audio-visually with my performance, and I also perform visual live. So yeah, I just go back and forth between audio and visual.
Very nice. Ishraq, you?
So I'm a visual artist. I'm an art consultant as well. So my work is all about emotions and complex feelings. Basically, I work using traditional media, but also new medias. I used to work in the traditional medias a lot before the new medias, but then I turned into new medias recently. I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Patricia.
Well, I'm not an artist, but we did this program to exactly bring different backgrounds together with a common goal that was create this final artwork that is exhibited in the booth in the digital section. So you're all welcome to visit us there. And Ishraq made a very beautiful artwork about the 4 seasons and how it communicates with emotions. And Ishraq made a very beautiful piece with amazing sound and very dynamic visuals that has also been having a lot of success. So I really recommend you all to pass to see them.
Okay. So, Ser, tell me, why did you decide to apply for the program?
Well, honestly, because the word cryptocurrency was coming up lately and NFTs, and I'm like, well, I need to get to know about it and I need to be involved in it, right? And when I saw the program, I'm like, well, this is perfect because it's not only going to teach me and give me sort of the introduction that I need, but it's also going to give me the chance to get into it, mint it, right? Create something and get myself relevant to the world, because I guess this is where we're going.
Ishraq, when you were applying, so what were the areas you felt you were missing to understand that space before the program?
I think everything.
That's not true.
No, that's true. By the way, I didn't know anything about blockchain, so I think as a new media artist who has a background in traditional art, NFT was something very new to me, and I decided to apply because of the mentors first. So I saw your background, and I saw the program narrative I was really interested into. And I thought maybe that's a chance for me to learn more about the blockchain. It's going to be a perfect introduction into the world, and it's not about minting it, but it's more about learning about the blockchain and being with fellow artists that are interested into the same.
Okay, very nice answers you're giving, but tell me now the truth. So what exactly?
No, that's the truth.
No, I mean, what exactly, like, caught you? So what specifically, you were interested about the NFT market? I mean, for example, producing art, or, like, understand how to sell it, like how to communicate with new, like that generation of collectors, understand their mentality. Because, like, more specifically, I mean, you're all, like, the art, it's like your main, like, activity in your life, right? So then you also need to sell these artworks. So what was that, things that you were specifically in? So where you wanted to, boost your strengths, like producing artworks, or maybe tailoring it a little bit to know, like, more NFT culture? So what was in your case?
Yeah, exactly. I think learning about the NFT culture was one of the strongest points. Being an artist, most of the artists are a little bit scared of the knowing the environment that is related to art, which is a more commercial part of it, I would say. So we don't understand a lot about collectors' mentality. We don't want to dig into it because we want to really focus on creating an artwork rather than getting to know a collector mentality, because maybe it's a secondary. So all of that provided by the coach and mentors was maybe an opportunity that's, I would say, a very interesting opportunity for me, especially that I'm an emergent artist, I'd call myself. So I mean, all the experiences that I had before were with real exhibitions, with the traditional form of exhibitions, and not with the digital format. So I didn't really have a background into that. So that was the entrance door with...
Very, very quick follow-up. And in the non-NFT art space, you said you're an emerging artist. So how do you usually used to sell? You collaborate with the galleries, or you, like, by yourself? You applied for different, like, competitions?
Yeah, exactly. It's through, usually it's either your work is selected for an exhibition, or through open calls, or, yeah, it's mostly open calls, I would say. So as an emergent artist, you start by collective exhibitions first. So in the region, there are a lot of interesting platforms that host annually open calls, and as an emergent artist, you'd apply to these, and you'd get selected. So if your narrative is within the exhibition narrative and all of that. So that's how, as a traditional artist, I used to work. As a new media artist, it's mostly social media. So you'll share your work, you'll produce it, but then you don't know how to exhibit it, so you share it through social media.
Okay. Sir, you're more on the music side, which is not very, like, traditional for contemporary art.
I guess maybe you could say that.
So what was your, what did you think was the main areas for you to improve? No, not to improve, sorry, to learn
Right?
about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess it's, for me, since I'm a performance artist, right? So I make music mostly to perform it, along with my visuals. And it's important to create a community, right? So having this fan base and having these targeted audience fan base, because I don't create pop or something commercial. I create very underground music. So it's very much like community based, and one of the NFT platforms is mostly community based, right? And it's cool because they throw events, and they throw parties, and they throw music around. So I was like, definitely I need to get into that world, right? I think at some point they might even stream your music on some platforms, So on the performance side, getting into the community for me was interesting.
So basically understanding how to communicate with community, what is their mentality, what is their values.
Yeah.
Okay, Patricia, yes, you're next in my list.
But
So,
wait, I want to say something.
yes, please.
Yeah. I wanted to say, so why I said that it was not true is because she already had, before entering the program, a background with animation that
Yes,
you
I
post
did.
on your Instagram.
Yes.
These very beautiful works that you animate. So
Thanks.
it's maybe you were exhibiting prints or textile or different formats that are more associated with traditional art.
Exactly.
But you already had experience in digital art. You were already close to do NFT, even if for you it was a big step because you didn't know what was separating you from it. But this is why this course was really, I think, useful in your case because you already had all the tools for you. And I think this was an opportunity for you to combine them to make the result. But like you were the protagonist, like she already had the animations done before. So this is just a more accurate support for you to use in that aspect. And for Serena, it's the same. Well, more than music, I would call it sound art, maybe, right? Which sound art, of course, it's a part of contemporary art, but maybe it's less frequent because, again, the support is not always easy for you to develop it. So in this case, the same, she had this experience and this background and this practice, and I believe she could find in the course a support where to build on, right?
Yeah.
That you could then exhibit or maybe even place in a collection in a more easy way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And tell us, Patricia, so also like to summarize from your experience of giving that mentorship support to other artists, because artists were of different profiles. How would you summarize were the main, like core areas and values you were delivering to the artists and where you felt that they need, they have a specific need to better understand the NFT space?
Yeah, so for me, the most important is that they are comfortable and confident with it because they know how to do art. This is what they have been doing since forever. It's their careers, they're experts at it. So I didn't have to teach anything there. I just had to prove them that that was useful. Because, something that I was facing a lot is that the students or the residents were telling me, yeah, but I don't know, because the NFTs is different, it's another creation, it's another tool. And I was like, no, this is other artists. Like, you are you have your practice, you have your background, and this is a new tool and a new support for you to integrate in your practice, but you don't have to change your practice. And I believe when they started seeing it as a way that they could use to develop new ways of expression for their messages or their studies, they gained a bit more confidence, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And they were suddenly much more comfortable experimenting. Also, other students were less used to have, for example, digital tools or animations or things like this. And suddenly when they understood that they had something to offer that was relevant, that was their art, they became super happy about it, right? Like Karine Roche also, she made the animations for the paintings she was creating. And basically, at the end, they could all experiment with this tool, with these tools for their service. And this is very important. I think once the artist has the confidence and the information about what they can do, then they're unstoppable.
That's very nice and very positive. But tell me also, what were the challenging sides? So did you have with any of the art? You cannot say the names if you don't want. Was there any moments, that something was challenging? You really faced that, like sometimes it's very complex to deliver the idea to the artist, and like this is maybe the world they really don't know, or like they ignore some of the, like advices or new rules.
They were always very open to listen to whatever we had to say, so it was a very easy job for me to do. But maybe what was a bit, well, not challenging for me, but maybe challenging for some students, was to understand what an NFT really is. Because at some point I realized that maybe it was not clear for them that the NFT was basically the record, right? Like that their artwork could be the digital artwork, and their task was to create a digital format of the artwork. So it can be video, it can be photography, it can be 3D, whatever, or sound. And then it's the, let's say, job of the platforms or the supports that you can use to transform it into an NFT that are going to mint it for you. But I think some students had the impression that maybe they had to do something technical or some coding or something like this. So it was challenging in the way that for them it could have been seen as an obstacle, but it was very quickly and easily resolved. So I think we ended up finding agreements all the time.
Thank you. Yeah, so to summarize on this, like first part about the goals and what the program was delivering. So you guys were, like looking to understand how this like new community works, what are the, like values, the rules, and what is the mentality, of the collectors, what are the things they value. And very important point that you don't have to change your, let's call it like content of the artworks, right? Because you have visuals, you have more, like sound. But it's around, like how you present it, how you build the story around it, and how you interact with the community. And yes, of course, NFT is just a digital asset which contains, like the file and provides some sort of certification of ownership and originality. So tell me now, so let's speak a little bit about your future life after the program.
Future
Yes.
after the program.
The past and future. Sir, tell me. So what are you planning? So are you planning to keep on developing yourself as a NFT artist, and what will you change, like compared to how you were producing or willing to sell your art before, after the program?
Definitely, I want to stay in the NFT world. And I'm going to just continue do what I do, and because I never stop learning anyway with whatever I create. So I'm definitely going to have it as a space and a world where now it's considered. Before there wasn't. Before it was just, Spotify, Apple Music, a couple of clubs here and there, performances here and there, and Instagram. But now NFT is there. So
It's a very useful support.
it is a useful support, and I don't see that I could lose in any way. Whatever happens. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Nothing.
So how are you planning? So and more specifically, so because you were saying that you wanted to understand how to interact with community, how to understand the mentality, these like new collectors. So what are you going to change? Like before you said how you did it before. So how are you planning, like to push yourself now?
Probably there's a very small idea in my head where if it's a community based, then maybe I could, because anyway I do release my tracks. I do have music out there. So maybe then now I can actually create an NFT community and take it further. I can collaborate with other artists. I don't have to do the visuals.
Very good, of course.
But if I do, it's fine. And sort of through events, private parties, invites only. I mean, the community vibe, right? And then eventually try to get like other underground artists in Dubai, because we do have a lot of artists, especially musicians in Dubai, or producers, singers, songwriters, and maybe, connect with them, contact them, and sort of start this Dubai music community.
I like what about you saying is that, first of all, like blockchain, and that's also what collectors value. It's not really, like too much competitive space, but more, like collaborative one.
Yeah.
And even another, important feature of NFTs is that it doesn't only prove who is the owner and that this is the origin of the file, but it also can have, like some sort of utility. So remember we were discussing some cases that also you can interact. You can add some sort of, gamification with the community. You can play with them. You can give them, and as you said, like do different, collaborations with other projects. Maybe, if they own your NFT, they get some certain rights in different areas.
Yeah, probably like tickets here or day pass here.
Exactly.
Or, yeah, we can get creative
I'm
with
very
this.
satisfied with how our students learn.
She wanted to present this project for Campus Ardova, and I was like, you went like 3 courses away.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I'm sure you will have a bright future in this arena.
Ishrak, you. Same question to you.
Right.
So how are you planning to develop yourself now as an NFT artist? What are you going to change?
I think I'm not going to change anything. I like the combination between the traditional art format and the new media one. So I'd really like to keep the balance. There is one thing I would say is that I'm really super happy that digital art finally gained a little bit of value. I mean, I won't, it's not a little bit of value, but value through the existence of NFTs, because I think 2 years or 3 years ago, you would define a digital artist as a secondary artist, and it wasn't really valued compared to traditional format of art. So now I'd be proud to mention it, as I'd be proud to own it. I'm a digital artist, and yes, I can own it because of that. And I think there is a road for it to grow, and I'm super happy for that. I can see growth coming, and I'd be part of it probably.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. And also like another, when I was asking you, how are you currently organizing, like your, for example, like let's call it like business space, the business part of the.
Yes.
I know many artists, they don't like to deal with business, that's why galleries exist.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So in this case, Patricia, so you were the one who was talking to every artist. Where do you think, and they all like artistic guys, right? And then we also see that now there is a need to interact with the community, to grow like social media networks, to like understand, to make make some deals with the platforms, etc. So how do you see where and what would be your advice to the artists because I'll give you another example. Sometimes when we see at the like very big like NFT artists right now, we see that when they succeed, when they grow, they don't work already by themselves. It's like a team. It's like a project, like a company. It's a team where there is, experts in social media, in this and that, and business development and some, creativity, etc. So what is your general advice to the, to our students and to overall, like all the other artists who would like to enter the NFT space, regarding how could they organize and what are those roles which are needed, so you can say it much better. So because they produce art, what else is needed to succeed in the NFT space commercially?
Yeah, well, I think you, for example, will have different paths. As Serena was explaining, she wants to go really into the benefits of NFT extras like utilities, or to create projects that are maybe, related to sound art, but also to other activities on top of it. And I think for you, it will be more as a new door to connect with new kind of collectors.
Exactly.
That you can add to your practice. And these are only 2 cases, but every artist is a different case. So what I think is that some of them will like this adventurous path of creating communities and interacting with them and speaking, getting to know each other, getting to know their collectors, maybe hang out together, who knows? Many people do this. So for those kind of profiles, maybe they will be more comfortable with platforms that are more familiar with NFT trends and NFT communities. But other profiles can as I think is your case, will want to remain, let's say, loyal to their career and to their path. And I think in that sense, you can still use the traditional ways, which are galleries or agents or whatever, can help you redirect the interest around your pieces, and that you don't have to take care of it because, well, in the way that make it a charge for you, that would take your efforts and energy from your creations. But I think everyone needs to find their own configuration, and it's about, at the end, it's about your art and your message. And it's a strategy, like for everything. In some cases, they're going to be more eager to maybe take a more commercial path, or maybe touch a certain audience. In other cases, they would be more interested about taking the new media as a new opportunity to create, and let the other, let's say, players or I don't know, partners help them to foster these new creations.
Do you think galleries will have a place in the NFT space?
Yeah, of course. For me, galleries always have a place because it's really the agents that know their artist, know the art, the career, the intentions, even sometimes provide the tools to their artists to make those creations happen. So again, it's a matter of who is the artist, what is the profile of the artist, and what are the needs and ambitions of this artist. But galleries have always been useful in a way that they have always been, let's say, pushing or helping developing their artists. And I think this doesn't change that aspect. It just opens the door for people without galleries to be able, with some other methodology, to also access the public.
To support artists how to develop themselves commercially in the NFT space, and advice maybe on the platforms to make the drop set, and how to work with maybe help to establish the community around them, etc.
It's
So,
like a social justice.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it depends what is the audience that the artist wants or needs. Because if you want to access new kind of collectors or younger collectors or NFT collectors, then of course if you're working with a gallery, your gallery is going to need to be a bit flexible in that arena. Otherwise, how are they going to do their job? But if you're more focused on having collectors from digital art, I mean, digital art is nothing new. So if this is what you want, then your gallery is going to, like, maybe have conversations with them about what this new support is, and more than getting new audience, they will try to adapt the ones they have. So I think galleries here are going to face different opportunities as well, and they would be, well, they know how to do their job.
That's exactly the case. Like, galleries used to be a little bit frightened of digital arts, and I mean, even as showcasing digital art was a little bit of, I mean, it was always considered a secondary art. We have to admit it.
Well, it's not always easy for galleries too, because, for example, for a gallery to exhibit digital art, many times they have either to buy the screen or to rent the screen, and then it's not always easy to sell because, I mean, the easiest format to sell is a painting for them. So many times they face the situation or the question, like, do I need to invest in this even if I am not sure to get the cost covered? It's also not easy for them. But I'm sure, well, we in fact have initiatives to help in this way as well, to provide galleries with materials to exhibit digital art. And I think, as you said, now that it's more in the conversations, right, in the general conversations, everyone is going to try to foster it more. Artists are going to be able to develop it more. and new collectors are very happy to collect more digital art. So I think it's a common agreement and a step to do all together.
Yeah. And it's true that on like every next art fair, we every time see more and more galleries presenting digital NFT art, and we see that when we talk to them that they already have like specially dedicated people who know the NFT market space. So they're really there, they're learning, and it's a very good trend. I agree with you. So, and let's speak a little bit about the market trends, because you now guys are all experts in the NFT space. So, sir, what do you think? Why, to your opinion, the whole, like craziness and the whole, like excitement around the NFT is happening, and what are the new experiences, that NFT brings to the art world and to collectors, beside having the technology which can now validate, yes, this is the original, and so beside that.
Well, I think that plays a huge role, actually, to be honest. And I think it's just when the crypto world just popped up and just opened up for a lot of, not just, when crypto came up for me, it was like, oh, okay, I have to be like business minded to think about this. I don't have a business mind. And then NFT comes and it's like, oh, this is crypto for artists. You know what I mean? So it's just that hype of, the decentralized concept. That by itself, I think, is just amazing for every kind of person.
Yeah, because like democracy, it's very focused, very respectful to community. Community have a lot of tools like DAOs,
Right.
where they can now be heard,
Yeah.
they can vote, they can participate.
Yeah.
There is an active life
Yeah.
around them. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good point.
And data analysis as well, just to keep your data there instead of having it all centralized, you have it sort of decentralized, just for even information.
Yeah. And also, that even like the mentality of people, because now,
Right.
the generation is changing, and the younger people, they are more themselves like digitally.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Addicted. Let's be honest, they're digitally addicted.
Yeah.
And they like expressing themselves in the digital space, and so this creates like more opportunities and more like applications. As we said again, utilities are being created around this. Yeah, and so to your opinion, Ichrak, when with this, because that there is one, because I'm from the blockchain world, okay, I'm not from the art world. And now I start knowing the art world a little bit, because now we have this project. But before, it's used to know that, and that's what many people are usually a bit like scared of, that art world seems in general very, like scary. It has a lot of like, emotional barriers, for collectors. And we heard very often, from people, I don't know, they're even attending art fairs, they sometimes a little bit feel uncomfortable speaking about art because they're a little bit worried to feel stupid, So what do, that's true. And what do you think? So do you think that there's, like NFT space and big focus on, like digital interaction, like social medias, communities, like all these like tools, virtual exhibition spaces, metaverses, these like, again, small or big virtual worlds which allow to exhibit art and to, and to communicate there. Do you think it simplifies, the process of communication and make emotionally digital art world more accessible for people?
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, actually, it offers a democratic space. It's more a space for everyone that can interact freely. So, looking at a gallery space from a physical point of view, an art gallery, when you enter it, it's already a little bit frightening just by its physicality. It's this white, huge box filled with, not filled, maybe it's very minimal. So it has a little, it's a frightening space, and not everyone can feel comfortable in it. Interacting digitally now, we are all at ease, and we are free to interact the way we want, and you're in your own space, your own bubble, you can interact freely, you don't have any kind of boundaries. It certainly offers, as I said, a socially justice space for everyone to meant to offer their artwork, but also to interact, to like, to not like, in a very free way without any boundaries.
To exhibit.
To exhibit as well, to showcase whatever they created in a very free way, without having people saying, "Oh, you have to see it that way," or "You have to judge it in that way." So it's a very it's a space for everyone, I would say.
Very good. So Patricia, so tell us, how would you in general, because we're already getting to the final part of our panel, so how would you summarize the experience of Campus Art Dubai? And you also, it was your experience of working, with a group of artists of different profiles. So what is your overall recommendation, because now, we're streamed, for example, and many artists are now on the fair, they are listening to you. What is your overall recommendation for artists who are working with digital, but not yet in the NFT space? But of course, they cannot already apply to Campus Art Dubai. So what is your overall recommendation to them, how to start with, how to understand the NFT space? Because this is a very good initiative that Art Dubai did, but also it shows that it is needed in the space, and that it is really a problem. And you see even what our artists are saying, so it's not so easy to understand all these new trends, especially they're changing super crazy, they're all very fast. So what is your overall recommendation for artists? How can they start learning and understanding the space without Campus Art Dubai program?
Well, first of all, they can always contact us back if they need
But not
advice.
our artists, all the artists, in the world.
Of course. No, I am against giving one general recommendation, because again, I think each artist is a profile, and everyone needs to take the tools for them according to their strategy and according to their goal. If you all do the same, then just don't do it, because what's the point? So my recommendation for artists that are, for example, more closer to your profile in a way that they want to remain in the traditional path, but they also want to integrate this practice, I would say try to use, you use Instagram very well. Try to use Instagram, try to do maybe collaborations. So you're in a way getting some exposure out there, but you can keep working with your galleries, with your exhibitions, with your traditional media as well, and continue developing in both senses. To artists that are more eager to try the new possibilities that it can offer, if I were you, I would try to do Twitter, use Instagram, use whatever social media where you can find this kind of place that you were commenting, where you can find all profiles. You never know who can help you, who can give you new ideas, new possibilities. So you can also use Discord, for example. You can join some communities.
Yeah.
Maybe at the beginning it's going to be a bit uncomfortable, because every research is always a bit uncomfortable, but it's really worthy to find your way and what is better adapted to you. So even if you think it's a bit of a challenge, go through it, because you will find the results. I really recommend to do that instead of just trying to do the easy way and not do research and try to follow the path of the others. And then for artists that, because we also had Meet, for example, Meet Borras, he's more a traditional artist, but he has been working a lot with digital, with installations. So we have different profiles, and for those who want to enter this path, Meet is also a bit on your way, on your style of profile, because he wants also to keep a gallery, to keep his career as it is, just to open a new way. So you see, we have different artists, different options, and if I have to give one advice, is to really look for selecting the tools that this space opens for you and taking those that will really be useful for your path or your strategy or your goals. This is what I would say.
Very good. So basically, like regarding the new media and that sort of artists is to explore the like those tools to communicate with the NFT community. Twitter is very important. We said Discord is very important. And if you are more fine art, as you consider your artworks more as fine art, like don't go crazy. Stick to your gallery. Be the fine artist, and fine art will come to NFT soon in the way that it is.
One thing.
Yes.
One thing that many students ask me too was about the value of their NFTs. If we were discussing this, it's just a new format of your art. It's not because it's new that it needs to be cheaper or less valuable or whatever. So this is a confusion some have, like, I did this in a traditional space, but this is digital NFT, so half the price. No, no, it doesn't need to be like this. And I think, I don't know why, but this is a thought some could have. So if I can give a second advice, it would be to stick to your careers. Of course, feel free to innovate. This is important for every kind of career, but don't try to break it in order to succeed in this new media. That I don't think that is the way, but this is my opinion.
Okay, thank you for this. Sir, Patricia, Ichrak, no, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.